2 weeks at the Bellagio. Is it really over?
I'm surprised because like they're still down by capacity.
Yep. I think I could get in the stratosphere for 7.99 a night, but it says excluding resort fee, which is another $36 a night. So now I'm up to 1,000 again, over 1,000.
Hello and welcome to Corner Comics. This is a special episode of the podcast. It's been a couple months since we did this, but we all sat down and watched the first 3 episodes of Invincible and wanted to come on and talk about it because we all had some time to be able to do that. So I am joined by my friends Emmanuel and Russ. Emmanuel, how you doing this weekend?
I'm very Hollywood,
Very. And Russ?
even though I'm in Long Beach.
I am doing great, about to make a huge transition and just, getting my head around it and getting things ready because only big things popping, little things stop.
Okay, that works. So yeah, Invincible. Normally we don't talk about comic book adjacent stuff. It's normally just the issues that we deal with. But
Those hard hitting issues.
yeah, no, I was actually I was really intrigued by this. I liked the art style and all of that kind of stuff. So um, let's dig into it, Russ. I figure you probably have the most information on the backstory for the show.
Okay, I've read the comics, so I know everything and everybody. Uh, uh, I want to say this though. This just shows you how much a failure is Marvel is at animation.
Yeah, seriously.
Because this is not because DC is the gold standard for animated superheroes, right? They are the gold standard. Even their garbage stuff is halfway decent,
Right.
right? Marvel is a failure all the way. There is no good Marvel anime. Give me two good Marvel animated movies or series other than that Marvel actually did. Now you can go back and go, but Marvel didn't do that, right? That was somebody else who,
The
that Marvel did.
Yeah, the
Go ahead.
best one that I've seen is the Guardians of the Galaxy one. That's
Yeah, and it's not bad.
no, but it's it pales in comparison to something like this.
Exactly. So, and I don't understand because Marvel is basically has a money printing machine, right? So if you got a money printing machine, you can hire anybody to build what you want. So if Kevin Feige and his money printing machine says make this, this, and this, it should happen, and it did.
Well, I
Go
did
ahead.
like the Avengers. Even though they rebooted or did incarnations of the Avengers a few times, but there was a few that I really liked, and it kept getting canceled. And that kind of goes in line with
But remember, those weren't actually done by Marvel. The only one that was done by Marvel
yeah,
is Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the latest one, because they want the characters to be the same characters that are in the movie,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that's not a good one. The one before that was great, but this is not. But we're here to talk about Invincible. Okay, so for those that don't know, Invincible is the story of a boy whose father is the Superman of that world. The father keeps telling him that he will have his powers, he will inherit it. The boy is living a life like, and he idolizes his father, and with good reasons. Father does amazing things, and he's not getting his powers. And one day, in the first episode, he just does. No explosion, no nothing. All I got powers. All right. And then he goes, tries to find his way to be the kind of superhero he wants to be, still idolizing his father. And the story is the name of it is Invincible. That's the main character, and that's his story. And this is the story of the world because it's not just him in this world. This is a great ensemble cast. If I just list the names of the people in this, oh my goodness, huge people, not just in animation but in real life. movies and TV, the animation, I mean, excuse me, the voice cast is top notch.
Yeah.
It's the kind of voice cast that you would expect. It's, you know how there's a woman who does the voice cast for DC movies? I forgot her name. She does all the voice casts for DC animated movies. She's been doing them for years, right? And she hired whoever. This is that level or above, right?
Yeah.
I can go down the list, but I ain't got time for that. So, voice cast is amazing. And then the music score.
That's good
There's
too.
some
Yeah.
80s jams, right? There's some, there's some stuff happening musically that moves you. And I'm like, dang, right? And then the animation, right? The quality of the animation is easily DC animation level or better. But here's okay, so this is what I call invincible. You have you have the quality of DC animation. You have the real type stories of Marvel, and you have the rated R of Hellboy. So this is all three into one, right?
Yeah.
You have because it's the story arc, the characterization here is good. You understand the who and the why these people act the way they do. You know what I'm saying? The villains, even the people who don't get a lot of screen time, you get them,
We should also,
right?
yeah, we should touch on the fact too that if you're a fan of the comics and you know the world, there's a lot more depth to Mark's character in the show, which is something that I was like, oh shit, like there's reasons behind scenes that they just kind of throw in the comic.
Mhm.
We should also talk about how, and Russ, you're really big on this, Skybound and Kirkman. All of his stuff
Mhm.
is sort of designed to be, a TV show or an animated series or something like that. The artwork here looks just like the comic because I think the comic was designed to be, something that looks like an animated show, right? So
Yes.
I wonder if this was always the plan for Kirkman, but he hit with Walking Dead. He now has those connections, and he can, finally do something like this.
Yeah. So this is going to guarantee anything he wants made is going to get made.
Yeah.
It's going to guarantee it. This is. I'm sorry, but Walking Dead made billions. Let's just be real about that. And if they keep making Walking Dead for the next 10 years, somebody will watch it. I won't, but somebody will, and they'll make money. Right? It's like Supernatural. Walking Dead is like Supernatural. You can have Walking Dead season 27, and people will watch it.
Right.
Right? And I don't know why, but Invincible is freaking good. It's an entirely different genre, right? So now you see he can work in live action and he can work in animation and provide the depth and characterization to do that. Are you telling me he's not going to get a blank check for whatever he wants to do next?
I hope so. Yeah.
Another person who I think has that blank check is Mark Millar. You familiar with Mark Millar?
Yeah, but
He did kick ass.
we gotta see some more stuff from him. I feel like.
Okay, I'm ready, and I have that. Don't worry, I got something for you. Because watch out there now. So you already know Mark Millar did kick ass.
Yeah.
You already know he did Kingsman,
Yeah.
right? You also know that he has a Netflix live action series.
We did a whole deal for the Millerverse with Netflix, right?
Yes, Netflix, Mark Miller. But he already has Jupiter's Legacy. You familiar with it?
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Yeah.
Right? So you already say it's going to be good. So anyway, because I now want to get on the Mark Millar train because you should be checking his stuff out too. But we back to my man, right? One of the things I like about the comic is that it had an ending. It went for a certain amount of years. It told all the story it needed to tell, and it stopped. It's done.
Yeah, it
Right? That's
was.
it.
It was still like 150 issues or something though.
Yeah,
It was a
but he
long ass
finished
time.
it.
Yeah.
It progressed. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man has been 20 something for 11,000 years,
Right.
right? And that's it. And he ain't gonna never be 30. Peter Parker will never be 30 years old,
Right.
right? Except it's from alternate universe, right? Peter B. Parker or something. Um, So he told his story, and there's an end to it. So if this went for 6 seasons, you know it would get somewhere, right? And then imagine the spinoffs, right? I don't know how familiar you are with the comic Invincible, which this is, you don't lose anything with the comic. You know what I mean? Read the comic; it's great. If you want to get ahead of the game, you could probably, and I'm pretty sure you can download the comic for free on what is that? What is that? Where you have a library card website where you can watch movies. What is that?
Oh, Hoopla. Yeah, there's quite a few, I think,
Hoopla.
trade paperbacks that are on Hoopla. Yeah.
Yes. So if you're looking to read the comics and spend no money and be legal, Hoopla will allow you to do that. So uh, characterization is there, the music is there, and the violence. There is glorious murder in the first episode, and once again, I am sated.
All right. All right. So we should probably say, all right, Emmanuel, do you have anything to say that's non-spoilery with regards to the show or the forerunners or anything like that?
I no, because it gets into spoiler territory. I
Okay.
want to just espouse the virtues of it, but yeah, go ahead.
All right. So if we're gonna get into spoiler territory, just be aware this is where it starts, and will probably continue for the rest of the episode. So,
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Go see the first 3 episodes on
right.
Amazon Prime and come back.
Yeah. So we're just talking about the first 3 episodes. 'Cause that's all that's out right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the
Spoiler
violence,
warning.
the violence and the murder. Yeah. Spoiler warning. Um, this was kind of interesting to me, and this will get into a little bit of the differences between the comics and the show. Because from what I remember, the first like 12 issues was the arc of his dad. And you don't find out that he is going to be the supervillain until issue like 11 or 12, right? Like it's way
Yes. Okay.
far. It's way
Yeah,
far.
I was like, oh my God.
So this one, the second episode, they're like they already set it up. They're like, here he is. He's fucking
I
murdered.
thought it was the first episode. Yeah.
It's the second episode, but yeah, he murders everybody, and you're like, holy shit, what is going on with this? Like, is he the villain? Is if you're watching it for the first time, you've never seen this
Be-
before.
Before that, though, I want to set up exactly who he murders. There's him being the Superman character, but the Guardians of the Globe, they're
Like
like
the
the
Justice
Avengers.
League,
They're the
yeah,
ensemble team. Yeah, the Justice League. They're the ensemble team of characters with various abilities. And fun fact, all of the actors were on The Walking Dead.
I didn't know
So
that.
it's really, really great. Yeah, like it's like a kinship. So they all died, perished at the hands of the Superman character, Omni Man, which is Mark Grayson's dad,
Right.
the Invincible.
So yeah, murder. And okay, you know what? Okay, tell me which villain you saw a lot of villains. Which villains did you like and which villains did you not like?
Um, the what are the twins called? Who is
They
there's
were
a,
awesome.
there's only one now, but
There'll be another, don't worry.
yeah, I can't
Who's the
think what
clone?
I can't think what they're called. I liked them. I liked Seth Rogen's character, the space alien that
Alien.
yeah that comes in and has to check on, but he's got the wrong planet.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this isn't Earth. No, this is Earth with a U or an E.
So and that's another nod to Marvel because you don't get these kind of things in DC. Well, not as much as you would get in Marvel, but I feel like this is a nod to Marvel to have these kind of situations and humanistic conversations.
Yeah,
But the characterization is not a lot of the characterization here is top notch. Even the non-power characters, even the high school characters, you kind of know who they are, what they're about.
there's a lot more motivation that's set up for like I have a lot more empathy for Mark in this than I did in the comic. In the comic, the first few issues you're kind of like, oh, okay, what he's finding his way and he's a superhero and whatever. But in this, there's motivations for him to do the things that he's doing, and you get more of the teen angst angle of it. I feel like this is. I didn't draw the parallels between the team that he fights with and the Teen Titans until watching the show, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's all coming together now. Like this makes more sense." Uh,
Yeah, they do a great job of expounding on, like as you mentioned before, like a panel or two. They'll tell you the backstory, which is great in adapting a comic to a live action or an animation. You have all this dialogue you have to fill. You have 20 some.
oh, did we lose him?
Looks like it. Let's see if he comes back.
All right. So I did make a few notes, and just to talk
Okay.
about some of the things that Emmanuel's talking about. Like some of the scenes are ripped directly from the comic, others are made up for the show. I thought it was really interesting the rock dude that can he was involved in a robbery and he could like change his outer shell to rock. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the reason that Invincible goes after him, he's like, I just gotta punch somebody. I gotta,
Yeah.
it wasn't just hey, I'm looking for crime or in the comic it just sort of happens. He's just out testing his powers or whatever. There's no real motivation for that to happen. Um, the language in the show is very adult. I like that the whole show is designed very much for an 18 plus crowd.
Agreed. Um, I like the explanation of the powers, how the father explains what powers you have and how they work, and how to be better at them.
Right.
I right that made sense. I'm like, okay, well, you have to do this, and you should use momentum more. I was like, oh, right. Nobody, that makes sense. I understand that. I get that. Right.
Yeah.
And I like that there's really only three or four powers. No supervision. Right. No heat vision,
No.
whatever vision, just flight, strength, speed, and durability, right? That's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else? Right? So no, it's like Shazam. Shazam got, he might have the wisdom of Solomon and still do stupid stuff, but he don't have all the extra powers. No super ventriloquism. You know what I mean? No shape changing, no none of these other things. It's just I'm strong, I can fly, and I'm fast, and I can take a punch.
Right.
Right? And when you think of Superman, if Superman didn't have all the extra powers, would he still be Superman?
Um.
Heat vision, super breath,
Yeah. I was trying to think of like all the different ones. I feel like they added that over time though. It's not like the original incarnation of Superman didn't even fly. He was just able to leap.
right?
You know.
At a single bound.
Yeah. So that stuff evolved over time. Uh, but like you said, there's a clear definitive end for the Invincible comics. I think Kirkman had that in mind. I'm going to this is the arc that I want, or this is, the character as it exists. Um, and there was no, like Spawn, they keep adding powers to Spawn or changing the way that his shit works, and it's,
And they keep losing me.
so, yeah, I mean, there's that. So,
Well, Walter Goggins, you know who that actor is?
no, I don't.
Okay, Walter Goggins. Do you remember Ant-Man? The last Ant-Man movie?
Ant-Man and Wasp?
Yeah, he was the bad guy in that. He also was in Justified. He was the main villain in Justified. You
Okay.
remember Justified, right? He plays Cecil, which
The
is really interesting. Cecil Stedman, the guy with the messed up face, whatever.
the CIA director or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
recognized the voice. I couldn't picture the face.
so who is Jillian Jacobs? Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is now.
Because I'm looking at these names. Oh, she's from She's from Community,
Okay.
and she plays Adam Eve.
That makes sense.
She does. She does the voice for Adam Eve.
She kind of looks like the character, which that works. Should we talk about your guy, J.K. Simmons, as Omni Man?
J.K. Simmons is the dope man. J.K. Simmons is one of the greatest older actors of my lifetime. Never really gets into actually physically kicks butt because old men kick ass now in movies. But J.K. Simmons is my dog, man. He basically J. Jonah Jameson is now Superman.
Welcome back, Emmanuel.
Thank you, thank you.
Little fuzzy there, but we see you.
Yeah. So
Overheated.
we were just getting into some of the actors that play the different roles.
Yes.
So we're talking about. I guess did you watch Community?
Yes, yes.
Jillian Jacobs being Adam Eve.
Love it.
J.K. Simmons as Omni Man.
He is perfect.
I think there's another guy that was in Community, Jason Mantzoukas, who plays Rex Blode.
I don't think he was in. No, he wasn't in Community, but he was in another one of my favorite television shows. It's about like the afterlife, The Good Place. He was in The Good
Okay.
Place, and he does phenomenal as Rex Blood.
Zazie Beetz plays the black girlfriend of Invincible.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, just
I know.
amazing. And they made that character. That wasn't in the comics. They made her for the series. So
Right.
hats off to Zazie. That she played Domino as in the Deadpool movie as well.
So let's see who else. Kevin Michael Richardson, which is, he's kind of the G in animation. I don't know if you know who he is. He does the voices of the twins, the
Maulers.
Right?
Yeah.
He's been the Joker before. Oh, Mark Hamill
Is in this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the clothing maker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clancy Brown. Now I don't know if you know who Clancy Brown is.
Yeah.
Okay, Clancy Brown plays Damien Darkblood, which is a nice, minor, perfect character. He's awesome. He's like the Phantom Stranger plus Hellboy plus, you know what I'm saying, all in one character.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting that character showed up too, because that's another one I don't think shows up until like way later in the comics, and he's there like episode 1. Try to figure out what's going on here.
Now, okay, some characters died. Let's talk about them. Lauren Cohen from Walking Dead. She was War Woman. She's dead. Sonequa Martin Green, who plays in the latest Star Trek iteration. She played Green Ghost. Lenny James plays Darkwing, the Black Batman.
Yeah.
Now here's one. Mahershala Ali plays the guy who gets in the rock-covered body. Don't ask me why he's just in there once. I don't know. And I'm looking at Jaimin Hansu. Plays the Flaxen Emperor.
Really? Okay.
Right? So I'm just saying, and these are the ones that are just guest stars. Right? Yeah, and Carrie Payton, booyah. Carrie Payton plays Black Samson.
Yeah, that's right. I love his voice because he plays Cyborg and he does it very, very well.
Yeah, he is the Cyborg voice. Yeah.
Yeah, before I knew that was him, he's spoken on. Where did I know that voice from? Yeah, he's really great.
So, but Kevin Michael Richardson, who also plays the Mauler twins, also plays Monster Girl when she's monstered up.
Okay.
Monster Girl is one of my favorite non-main characters of the entire Invincible
She
series,
has
all of it.
she has a super interesting power set in the show. That
Hmm.
where they explain how she gets younger every time she uses her powers. And she's talking to Robot, and she's like, "This training regiment's not going to work for me. Like, I'm going to be a baby by the time we're done." Uh,
Martian Man. So they had a Martian. Okay. So the guy Immortal. Okay, and this is a deep cut, and this is another spoiler. The Immortal, the guy with the beard, is part of Global Guardians who got his head chopped off.
yeah.
Do you know his character in the comics is actually Abraham Lincoln,
Oh no, I didn't know
still alive.
that.
That's right.
Well,
I remember that.
they kind of allude to it because he gets his head chopped off, and then when the CIA guys come in and they put the thing on his neck, the body comes back to life, and then they grab
Mhm.
his head off screen. Um, so I guess they could bring him back if they're able to like reattach the head. Yeah,
So another thing on the show, the choreography of the fights is good.
yeah.
You believe all the hits, and when the Flash dude is hitting the guy and his hands are breaking, and you see all the brokenness, and then smash, smash, blood. So delightful, the murder, the killing. Oh my goodness.
The dynamics and the techniques, the physics of it all. It's
Mhm.
great. I like when Omni Man was training his son Invincible. He was talking about how to pivot on air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
How in
we
order to
told.
punch someone with no leverage, like you would, that would be difficult. But they can pivot on anything. I really like that little detail.
Yep.
it changes the power set for sure, or it changes your understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything we don't like about this show?
Um.
I don't like this. The way that they gave away the not spoiler, but they gave away the twist right away. But I will say this: I'm anticipating more. If they're gonna expose the twist right away, they must have something else up their sleeve.
Yeah. I think almost like it's on an accelerated um, path, but I think you have to do that for the TV show in order to keep people engaged. It was interesting because I started watching this just assuming that my wife wasn't going to be interested, and she was like off to the side, kind of into it and whatever, and then I like paused it and went to go do something else, and she was like, "Are you gonna finish watching that?" And I was like, "Well, you want to watch it with me?" Is that what's happening now?
Nice.
So I think to your point, Emmanuel, yeah, it's kind of disappointing that they gave away the twist, but by the same token, people who have no experience with the comics or anything like that are going to be immediately interested because this is so different from anything superhero that's out there right now. Um, and I like that um, it's not full on grim dark. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, a bunch of superheroes got murdered, but there's still a hope and a light with the main character, right?
Right.
So,
So there are three episodes available now. There are only a total of 8,
oh,
and
for the
each
first season,
episode, yeah, and each episode is now we have to wait a week for each episode, each Thursday, I believe.
right?
So that's disappointing because it was almost a movie watching the first 3 episodes. It's such like a smorgasbord of like I could not stop watching it. Like that was the movie for the day.
Yeah,
Right? Because it just kept on giving and kept on giving. And you really care about the characters and you care about Mark, you care about Adam Eve,
yeah,
right? You care about the Mark's mother, right? As the fully only human person who loves Superman, basically,
right.
right? You care about all of that, right? I like the one where he's like, Dad got sucked into another dimension. Oh, okay, I thought it was something bad. He'll be
just
back,
just Tuesday. Yeah,
right? But did you notice that montage when he got sucked into the other dimension when he went full on destructive mode?
Oh
That
yeah.
was awesome. Right? It's like, except for episode three, first two episodes gave me so much violence near the end that I was like, yes.
I
So
like the way he's hiding his like menacing qualities. The fact that he is evil. He's hiding his full Voltramiteness right
mhm.
now, and he's doing it really well. Like you can kind of see it seep in, and only those that know that he really is just jacked up in the head right now, they can see it beginning.
I don't think he's
That's
jacked
very
up in the
cool.
head. I don't.
Well,
Honestly,
that whole
I don't
philosophy.
think. Well, but I mean,
It depends on your
you know,
perspective.
yeah.
It depends on
I,
your perspective.
I
It's
don't think
jacked
he's
up in the head
broken.
from
He
well,
was
from
raised that
the
way.
earth. Yeah, from the earthling perspective, that is awful. But from a Vulturemite, yeah, this is completely normal. This is what we do. It depends on which perspective you're speaking
Yeah.
from.
So
Which
I don't,
and
because when you say jacked him in the head, for me that implies that there's a cure, and there's nothing broken about him. He's just who he chose to
mm,
be. He's on a mission. I don't think he's. I think
one
he's
would
not
argue,
human. He's not
I
human.
argue, I argue that the cure would come later. Spoiler for those who read the comments. But that's just my perspective.
I don't think the cure will come later. I think what happens is that hopefully, the script flips, and Invincible becomes the person to emulate.
Mm-hmm. A
More than
cure.
I don't see cure. No, I think people could change sides. And here's the thing: it's like a villain becoming a good guy. They still hurt people too much. You know what I mean? That's like if you make Wolverine is a good guy, but come on,
Right.
does
Okay.
he really got a problem with murdering somebody? Come on. Punisher is the good guy, but come on, right? Is he ever going to be good? No. He may work for a good company. He may be on a good team. He may marshal his murderous intent in a direction that we like, but there's no cure.
As long as they give some type of justification, and
It
you
just
and you can see his perspective. I think that's the hallmark of a good
yeah,
a good character, a good villain.
I'm confident that they will do that because they explain things pretty well in
Yeah.
the series.
Oh yeah.
So, and it makes sense. I mean, remember, Superman is only Superman because of the Kents, right? How he was raised. Because in every other place where he was raised something different, he was not that at all.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that if he doesn't raise his way, he's not broken. He's just different. So I say Omni Man isn't broken. He just ain't he just ain't American apple pie good. He's not true, just an American way. He's not American,
Right.
Agree.
but not broken.
Agree. I
You
like
know,
how in the first few episodes they didn't really say invincible. Every time he was about to say it, it cut off.
and then
Yeah,
they put the flash on the screen. That is a
I
nice
love
touch.
that. I
That
love
is a very like who do you think you are? You're invincible. That's a nice touch. If you can
that. Yeah.
find a way to do that every episode, I'm saying writers,
Yeah.
good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that feels like '90s animation here,
Yeah,
which is a good thing, I think. Um,
but not 90s whack
no.
story violence for the sake thereof.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I think of Ultra Force, that was 90s, right?
Yeah.
Ultra Force, right? And they had all the animation was decent in there, but it was still, you know, flat.
Right.
This is not flat. Like again, what's the negatives? Do you have any?
I don't really have any negatives.
Right? And if you don't have any negatives, there are none. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
I'm really curious to see how the first season ends because, like you said, it's only 8 episodes, but they packed a shit ton of stuff into the first three. So it'll be interesting to see, like, is the first 8 episodes of this equivalent to the full story arc in the first 12 issues of the comic?
My thought, if I were to hazard a guess, I would say the end of the last episode of this season, he finds out about his father.
And then they leave it, and then you gotta.
Yeah, that's all you get, homie. You coming back or what?
Okay, that's a good way to end it. I think. Yeah.
You coming back, right? And you know what I deliver because flat out, all of this.
Right.
So yes, perfect place to end it. Cliffhanger, right?
Right.
But you don't feel time is wasted in the episodes, right? Everything
Mhm.
feels valuable, and even the characterization of the criminals. The weakest criminal to me was the scientist with the bracelets. But I liked him,
The earthquake
right?
gloves.
Yeah, no gloves, right? But I liked him. He was crazy. He'll probably be back, right?
Yeah.
But he was. If I had to pick who was the weakest villain, he would be the weakest villain. Who's the weakest hero that you've seen so far? They even made friggin' the Shrink Girl a badass, right? The Atom should be kicking ass like that. You know what I mean?
I think. Yeah. I think Rex Explode is probably the weakest. Um.
I would say duplicate, but go
Well, I
before you
Can
say
you
explode.
can you kill? Can duplicate be killed?
as long as she's fast enough to duplicate herself, then no.
Yeah. So, but if I shoot her in the head, she's still dead, right?
Only if you
If I shoot in the
catch.
head from behind,
Only if you catch the original. If she's smart enough, there's always two of her walking around.
if she's smart enough, she never comes out of the house.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If she's smart enough, you've never seen the original.
Yeah. Um. But I think Rex probably because of his character more than his power set. His power set's
Because
he's basically Gambit, but um, he's weak in his character. So
he's a dick.
yeah,
You got to have one on every team. Huh? Come on now.
yeah,
There's one on every team except maybe the Justice League because they're all shiny. But then I would say the question might be right or Batman, which is he's always there's one on every team. I did find the Batman ish character here to be interesting,
yeah.
and that
Especially
basically instead of
well, I was gonna
the
say
surfboard,
yeah, he's almost like Silver Surfer or Green Goblin. Yeah, but no, the first episode where he saves that woman, not
mm-hmm.
knowing whether or not he's going to survive the tank crushing him. That was intense for an animated series. Like that scene, I was riveted. Like oh shit,
See.
he's gonna get crushed by the tank, but he's gonna let it happen because he wants to save this woman. It's crazy.
So if you like superheroes at all, comics, whatever, or wherever you get your superheroes, I think we all say this is a series you have to watch. So say we all.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Yeah.
honestly, this is the best thing superhero on TV or streaming right now because it's just different enough that you don't have to buy into all the other crap. But if you're into the superhero stuff, it subverts it enough that it's interesting for you as well.
Yeah, but you haven't seen Falcon the Winter Soldier or WandaVision. So I'm not sure you are qualified to make that statement.
I will say, all right. So I'll put on Falcon Winter Soldier. I'll see if my wife even is remotely interested as she was with Invincible. If she is, it gets a pass. But because Invincible is something that we're probably gonna watch together, I'm down for it. This is gonna be
Okay.
it's gonna be good.
She may be the one to pull this forward for. She may be the one because I honestly don't see you being as captivated by it because it's not as shiny. But yeah, your wife might enjoy it because it's very character driven and story driven, and it does have some superhero ness to it. But that is the icing on the cake, and it's served very very well.
Okay.
Oh, also, I wanted to mention about Invincible. Have you noticed the change between Mark Grayson's comic book from the actual comic into the animation? It changed from Science Dog to Sans Dog.
Seance dog. Yeah, I did notice that.
No, I didn't.
Probably because see here's the thing, it was all under image. I don't know how much of it he owned,
I think
right?
all of it. I mean, Kirkman is the chief creative director for Image too.
Well,
So
that's because they're going to be doing something with Science Dog. So they wanted to have that property separate from the animation.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
okay.
in the animation, it changed to seance dog, this metaphysical um, dog, anthropomorphic animal that does things. So that was a nice little touch,
Okay.
shall I
And
say.
when you think of it now, where are the science superheroes? Are there any? I mean, when I think of science superheroes, I think of someone like,
Mr.
uh,
Fantastic or
yeah, but yeah, or yeah, Mr. Fantastic, definitely. But I can go and say Doc Samson,
okay.
right? I can say, and it really depends on how obscure you want to go, but somebody who's not necessarily a, I mean, they can fight, but they don't have powers. They solve everything with science,
Mm.
right? But they're just as effective in battle and against bigger threats as anyone else. We need science heroes. Iron Man did everything through his armor, really, right? Outside of his armor, even though he had capability of doing more, he didn't. Now, perhaps
What?
because they did cast Ironheart, you know that, right?
Yeah.
So perhaps she will be able to do that. And then they're also doing an animated series for a Moon Girl, a devil dinosaur.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lawrence Fishburne was next. She's definitely a science hero, right? Because she's all brain and she's a kid, so she's not really going to sock anybody, right? So I think there's a place for science heroes that we're missing, like X Files were science heroes, right? They
Right.
were in the. So I think where are the science heroes? We need more of those. And Science Dog would have been great to be one of those science heroes. Because imagine, can you do a spinoff
Well, that's what
of
Emmanuel
it?
was. That's what Emmanuel was talking
So
about.
here's my spinoff of Invincible. Ready? I don't know how familiar you are with the whole Invincible run. Emmanuel, have you read everything pretty much?
Yep, down to the last book.
Okay, so there was a time where Robot and Monster Girl were trapped in another dimension for years. Is that a spinoff?
Yeah, you could do that. It depends on how people react to the characters and how involved they get. We're still really early
I,
days.
how can you not love Monster Girl? What is not lovable about Monster Girl?
I
Come
I'm
on,
I'm saying yeah. I'm just saying that people have to grow an attachment first.
that's okay. You already attached to Invincible. It didn't even take long.
Yeah, but I did have some history with the comics before too.
So my thought is, and here's okay. So now Young Justice is renewed for a new season. Is this the Robert Kirkman Young Justice? Can Young Justice? How good is Young Justice now compared to this? If we had to compare the shows, is Young Justice still on par, or is it now less?
The age demographic that they're shooting for is definitely different.
Okay. And plus, DC is not going to be letting you do it too much cussing, right?
No, they're not
Yeah.
going to drop any f bombs or let you crush somebody's head and have it explode everywhere.
I think they should just do like they do in the comics. They need a mature line,
Yeah,
right?
I
Was it
feel
Black Label?
I feel like
Black
I feel like
Animated.
some of the DC animated movies though are pretty adult. You know.
Black Label animated series. That's what I want. I want some dismemberment. I want what's the guy from Justice League Dark to be chain smoking.
Oh, Constantine.
Constantine.
Constantine needs to be chain smoking and having sex with everything that moves, because that's Constantine for real, right?
It's true to form.
And Constantine got no problem with interspecies getting down either, right? Constantine is a trisexual. He will try
Or
everybody.
like it doesn't have to be the same opposite gender either. He'll
Mhm.
seduce a man just as soon as he'll seduce a woman. That's
Yeah.
just Constantine. That's how he gets down.
So my next pitch for an anti-hero for the DC universe is Resurrection Man. Are you familiar with Resurrection Man?
No.
You need to read. You
Jesus.
need to read his whole run. Nope. This is what happened. Mitch Shelley, which is the guy's real name. Mitch Shelley. Every time he's killed, he's brought back to life with a power to make sure he's not killed that way again.
Okay.
And now, but he doesn't pick the power. He just wakes back up, and now he can't be killed that way. Maybe because he's indestructible. Maybe because he can do. You don't know what power he's going to get.
All right, my question to you, and you may refer me to the comic, but does that travel over to his next
No,
incarnation?
nope,
Okay.
nope. Next time you got another one. And I'm thinking, and it can be big or small. I'm thinking you can do a David Banner or Walk the Earth kind of guy because people are after him, right? And but he always has to help people, and he ends up getting killed.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if serialized TV shows can make it in the modern era though, because nobody seems to be doing it.
No, I don't. I disagree. Well,
CBS does
what
it,
I
right?
CBS does it very well, and CBS is actually they're great at it. CBS has pretty much perfected serialized, especially what do you call that? The kind of thing they do, Law and Order, all the
CIS, yeah.
yeah. They perfected that, and the characters grow, and they remember things that happened last year and 2 years ago, right? Isn't Walking Dead serialized?
Well, I don't know. There's still an overarching story though. There's shit that carries on. Like,
But I mean, isn't that with everything? I mean, there's an overarching story in the pitch that I just did for what you call it, man, right? There's an overarching story in David Banner and the Hulk back in the day, right? There's
yeah,
always an overarching story.
yeah, there is, but to how much it actually plays into each episode, I think matters.
Well,
You know.
well, I mean, I could say Smallville had did the same thing and did it pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think serialized works. I think you just got to find the right network. Right now, there's so many networks, it can work, right? Because there's always some network that be like, just make it good, and we'll run it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. All
So I
right.
don't. I think serialized works great. I just don't think it's for the people who just get their TV from cable, regular, just flipping channels.
Right.
It's not for them, but it's getting becoming less and less of them anyway.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts on Invincible then? We'll maybe check back after episode 8.
Yeah, we could do that,
That's good.
All right.
and we'll see if my prediction. We'll see if my prediction is right.
Well, it's now recorded for everybody to see. So
Mm-hmm.
there it is. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this discussion of the first 3 episodes of Invincible. Before we leave, where can people find you guys on the interwebs? Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
You can find me on the Instagram at em_man_RU_EL. That's phonetically Emmanuel. You can also find me on emmanuelthestory.com. I've moved to a different state, so updates should be soon.
Nice. And Russ?
You can find me at blacksuperherofan.com. You can also find me at Comic Creators of Color. Am I .org or .com? I'm pretty sure I'm .com. And a few other places soon to be named because I will be moving as well. But we're keeping that under wraps because my boss doesn't know.
And you can find me on Twitter at Berkough, BERKOUGH. You can find all of us on cornercomics.net. That's still up. That will host the archives of these shows. If you're listening to us on a podcatcher, thank you for that. You should be able to find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you want to download your podcast from. And if you have any thoughts of your own that you want to shoot at us, either social media or you can send us an email at cornercomicsofficial@gmail.com. And chances are, if we get an email from you, we'll read it on the air. If you have sent an email and we haven't seen it, it got caught up in the junk or whatever, feel free to DM me on Twitter and let me know about that. So until next time, gentlemen, we're out.
Peace. Secretion. Secretion powers activated. Calamine lotion.
What about calamine lotion?
Calamine lotion.